Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, before I start, I want to warn you, my English is not that good as it seems, and I'm going to struggle with talking, but stay with me. I welcome you to another Tea at 5. Before I move on the recent pictures, I have a few changes to make. The first is that the following videos will be shorter and not very informative. For what reason? A new friend came into my life, and that is a paranoid schizophrenia with very painful anxieties. I originally thought I will be hospitalized, but according to my doctor, it would only worsen the already quite unpleasant hallucinations, and so it came to the application for a disability pension, where the unpleasant clerk informed me that it would take 3 months to resolve it, and that is quite possible that I'm still not entitled to it. I have been receiving treatment for over 2 years. I ended up on disability several times, but for authorities, this is still not a sufficient reason. Finally, I need help and at least try to make some extra money by drawing. More informative videos will be on my Patreon for tier where we will learn to draw together. So if you are interested, you can consider it, and if you don't want to draw, but would like to help me in some way, I also have a shrimp club, so check it out. But now, to the pictures themselves, the changes compared to the last video are already visible. I learned a lot and I think the results are starting to show. This picture with the cat does not have speed paint yet, but I have to admit that this creation was a big test. Now I will give you 2 examples of what a Patreon video would look like. A classic start with some reference that was an inspiration. It was actually a little girl with hoodie, probably some model, who knows. A rough sketch followed where I already made a basic mistake, which you can probably already see. You probably wouldn't last very long in such a forward bend, but it was for the first attempt, so I don't really want to slap myself for it. Another point was the background, which is completely different now than it was originally. In the end, I jumped from the original Sakura to the fountain, which I liked on Pinterest, and here I started with what I want to stick to, simplifying, and I think the results are not bad. What I messed up here was I didn't determine the light and the shadow right at the beginning, so the pictures look rather flat at the time. I didn't check the color preview here, which was another mistake. I simplified the shading of the skin as much as I could, and for the result, it at least does not draw attention to itself, which was the goal. The sweatshirt and playing with hair yellow was important to me. I like the bands of fabric and I want to do them sharply, so I experimented with the brushes and the lasso tool. It's still not the same, but it's a big leap. I started with the leggings in a gentle way, because as long as there is no sharp source of shadow, they look soft on legs without significant shadows. Believe it or not, the biggest bug was the cat itself. I spent more time on it just sketch than I'm willing to admit. An hour, for Christ's sake. And now for my favorite part, playing with textures. I have 3 stripe brushes and I really like using them for detailing. The next picture is a lady with a bird on her knee. Here, and you can tell, I try to kick to a faster pace. I divided quite a bit from the reference. I haven't forgiven Sakura here, but I will have to study a lot more about background and perspective. Of course, I will introduce you into it on Patreon. I started with the skin. I'm starting to discover the magic of grayish purple for shading, underlined with red, because we all have a blood, right? And the sweatshirt again. I was in a hurry, as you can tell. The sweatshirt is shaded quite distinctly and flat. Don't get too inspired by this. The color is great, the shading is bad. Unfortunately, the fabric does not behave like this. Then here we go again. How about this? I haven't the slightest idea, but I try to gently indicate the light and the shadow, put the top in a green color, and the result colors give a nice and cool impression. And as for the bird, it can be missing, right? And again, the details with the stripe textures. I'm honestly quite obsessed with the stripes and I'm starting to use them more and more and I love it. But what didn't I do? Color preview. So flatness is on the point again. So much for a sample of more detailed commented videos. There's very dense, unfortunately, but I have a script written for a video for patterns, so if you're interested, check it out, because the next image is Draw This in Your Style by Kate Ritchie Art. Basically, this picture was a really challenge and I spent several hours on it. The color, light sources and the shading was quite a lot of work, but I didn't want to let it go on my idea of Rashmere playing with Mavis' hair. The result looks damn good to me, as I wanted. Of course, I have a lot to learn, which I have also learned a lot here, and I definitely intend to continue doing so. And the last one is another Draw This in Your Style for Simple Spirits. This was another ticket to the uncomfortable zone. Anti-character, both of them are supposed to be cute together, so I came up with the idea of drawing the two of them at a tea party with the big character sitting on a chair underneath. I like the effect and the color, and I'm glad I left my comfort zone. So for more informative videos, once again, check my Patreon. That's all for today. Thank you for listening to me, and I'll see you on another video. Bye!